Hey everyone, welcome to the results video of the Mini 3x3 Blood Contest. In this contest all the players had to build something on a map that was only 3x3 tiles big. Now I believe that's also the smallest size you can possibly have a park in. Now we got 33 entries for this round, which is quite funny considering the name of the contest. I will show all of the entries. I will start with the one that got the lowest score and I'll finish by announcing who's the winner of this round. Alright, in last place we have the entry from Only Chaos DJ, who tried to create a Jenga tower. Now I actually had to lower his score a little bit because his map size is actually 9x9 tiles instead of 3x3. Alright, in 32nd place we have the entry from 73. 73 created a huge elevator, which you can see over here. Now it isn't really decorated much on the top side, only here on the bottom. I think the decoration here on the bottom looks nice, but other than that, there's really not a lot to see here. Alright, then in 31st place we have the entry from DJ Vessi, and he created this little twist ride called Rotator. Now, not really sure what the scenery in the rest of the map is represents, but I do think it looks kinda nice. Alright, next entry is from 3DS Bacon, and he recreated a scene from WWE Wrestling, I believe. Over here we see John Cena, and the other guy is Solo Sikoa. Alright, the next entry is from Kwasi, and Kwasi created this little scene in a sort of like a jungle or overgrown scene. Yeah, so here we see this big tree with all the other foliage here next to it, a little house, a little piece of a rail, some equipment here, and in between here there's also two entertainers running around. This is Ice Show Speed, and the other one is Dirklink in a panda suit. Right, this next entry is from Lol69, and he created these two lovely towers with a little park around them. Right, next scene is from BE Player, and BE Player created this old disused TV tower, and some attractions were put in the top. So there's just two little shuttle coasters up there on top of the tower. And the bottom is a nice structure with some trees around it. Alright, the next entry is from Banan Fanat, and Banan Fanat created this weird but fun looking tower. So here at the bottom looks like some kind of Asian section. Here's two entrances to two rides, which are actually up here. So there's actually a coaster up here in this structure. I think it's quite nice that Bananafanat was actually able to place a coaster in this entry. Now the layout is pretty nonsensical, but it works. And over here we also have this merry-go-round. And what I think is funny about these rides is that when guests leave, they will actually drop down back onto the entrance here. Right, next entry is from Nina, and Nina built this little house here, which I think looks really nice. Yeah, not really much to say about it. It uses this Georgian set from the European set from one of the expansions. Yeah, and I think with these building blocks you can actually create quite a nice little house. Alright, next entry is from Sordid, and the description was a cathedral build that he did in just under 1 hour. And I asked him if it was supposed to look like that, and he actually didn't really like it and said he wasn't sure if he should still submit it, but in the end he did. Now I'm not really sure how this is a cathedral, maybe if you squint really hard, but some people really liked it, so I guess it's sort of successful in that way. Right, next entry is from Infinite Sadness, and I quite like this one. It's kind of like one of these MC Escher-esque entries. So there's this little river that looks like it runs upwards, and there's this waterfall that brings the water down again. I quite like how we used this river rapids piece here, where the water lands, and I also really like how we used these different scenery pieces, like these fountain bottoms and some other obscure pieces to create this nice little tower. So yeah, I quite like this entry from Infinite Sadness. Right, next entry is from Widget Kitty. Widget Kitty created this beautiful Mario scene Here you can see Mario running around as a handyman. Now, I really love this entry. I think these bricks actually work great to, yeah, for a Mario level. And also love the mushrooms, the pipes, and the other recognizable scenes. Yeah, wonderful job from Widget Kitty. Right, next entry is from Solaris. Solaris made this beautiful little lighthouse. Yeah, it's with some other nice landscaping around it. Some nice foliage in form of these trees and these gardens. Here's a little pier with a boat. Also, the lighthouse keeper is over here, and here's the lighthouse. I really like this structure. I do think the roof could have maybe used a nice top on it. Maybe one of the spires from the Kremlin set would have been nice. But yeah, overall, nice work. Alright, the next entry is from Plux. Plux made this beautiful Japanese little scene. There's a little street with lots of wires and other decorations hanging over. Lots of different colors, also some running lights. Now, Plux told us not to rotate the entry, but I'm gonna do that anyway. And I think it just looks beautiful. I think it's just a wonderful little scene here. So yeah, great work from Plux. Right, next entry is from Wes. And Wes made this really nice scene here with these two jousting knights. One of them is called Sir Dies a lot, and the other one is called Sir Loses a lot. Yeah, I think these names are pretty absurd. But I love this little scene. I really like the way this looks. Foliage is nice. I also love this these grandstands here, also with some of these jumping guests who have been frozen in time. Yeah, a beautiful little scene from Wes. Alright, the next entry is a pile of assorted junk from Ducklink. Now, I was bullied into joining this contest myself, and then someone had the idea of making a miniature version of Imagination Mega Park. So here you can see Imagination Micro Park. So I tried to make one tile for every land that is in Imagination Mega Park. So here you can see the Desert of Doom. Here's the Lava Lands. Here's Marshmallow Mountain. Here's Sprocket City. Here's the Subsea Sands. Then over here we have Misery Marsh, also with this rotating eye here. Over here we have the Science Station, and here's the Frozen Fields. And of course in the center we have this big castle, and then there's an airship that goes around and makes everything below it glitchy. Yeah, I don't think it's bad for something that I just cobbled together in a few minutes, and I quite like the way it turned out. Right, next entry is from Casual Coaster Fan, previously known as Andrew781, and he created this really nice looking tower. It has an elevator that goes up to the top, and when the guests have arrived up here, they can actually take this bungee ride. Yeah, guests actually get dropped down from here, and then they get back up again. I think it's quite impressive how Casual Coaster Fan was able to put this ride in this really small space. Because there's also some stuff happening here with invisible tracks. So yeah, I think it's a really nice looking tower from Casual Coaster Fan. Right, next entry is from Lurker. So Lurker said something in his story about binary, I believe it was pulsar, and maybe it was a white dwarf, or maybe it was another neutron star, which was orbiting a black hole, which you can see over here at the bottom. And a spaceship or a space station was sent to do a research here, or measurements or observations. Now, if you rotate the map, you can actually see inside this little space station, so you can see different levels, each with their own function. Here's the bridge, so you can see the captain over here. Not sure what this is. Here's the mess room, so there's someone on lunch break. Here's the botanist, so this guy probably who takes care of all the food on the ship. And here at the bottom is the engine room. Here you can see the chief mechanic. Yeah, I think it's a really fun entry from Lurker. Alright, next entry is from 30. He created one of my favorite entries from this round. And here you can see, of course, the Statue of Liberty with one of these big skulls used for the face. Probably the closest thing in the game that you can use that resembles a face. yeah, I think this is some wonderful track architecture. I think these tracks are used in a great way. That does quite represent the original thing. I think it's great, and yeah, the shape of this is just wonderful. Great work from 30. Alright, next up is the entry from Papa Neth. And Papa Neth created this little Japanese scene. So here you can see a little street with these crosswalks, also a car. We can see one of these pink trees here. Yeah, I think it's a wonderful little scene. Now you can also see yeah, these large glass walls, also with some stuff happening behind it. Maybe it's supposed to represent a billboard, but looks pretty cool. Or maybe it's a television screen. No, there's also some large buildings up here, also with some stuff on top, like trees. A little bit difficult to find the scene again sometimes after rotating. Yeah, I think these buildings look great, and you can also see a little slice of stuff happening underground. So yeah, here you can see some guests walking around, and here's a subway. Yeah, just lots of little details on this little scene of cityscape. I think it looks amazing. Alright, then we have a tie for 12th place. This is the entry from Risiko, and Risiko created this OpenRCT2 logo. So yeah, it actually works from every angle. I'm rotating the screen now, and you can see it. It looks the same from every angle, except the spiral slide is most likely a little bit rotated. No, it actually looks the same from every angle. I said nothing. But yeah, it's just this, of course, pretty simple entry. Although all this diagonal track probably wasn't very simple to all place down like this. But yeah, I think Risiko did a wonderful job. I think it looks great. I think it's also nice that it actually works from all angles. Right, next up is the entry from Darson. And Darson created this beautiful looking building. I really love the structure that he made over here. Also some nice layers for this build. Also for this landscaping here. I quite like how there's all this stuff here at the bottom in the void color to make the landscape look a little bit more jagged. And yeah, the roof is also pretty nice. There's also some stuff happening above the roof. Yeah, very interesting structure. Right, next entry is from SolX. Now, I thought this entry was really cool. You can see this little farm over here. And yeah, something is beamed down. I guess can actually ride this bicycle, and they will actually get beamed up into this observation tower car, or into this UFO. I think this is really cool how he did this. Also, I really like how he did this beam. It's most likely some kind of glass blocks. But yeah, I think this is really nicely executed. So the scenery, pretty simple, but I think he did it in a really effective way. Also some weird stuff going on here in the sky with this observation tower, right? Alright, next entry is from Manticore 007. Now he actually works at Efteling, so he goes there every day. So he decided to also recreate a scene from Efteling. So here you see the pagoda ride, which is a large observation tower on a long arm, and yeah, it actually swivels around the point here. But yeah, I think Manticore did a really nice job with all the little details that he put in. There's actually lots of different ride vehicles stacked on top of each other, mixed with some scenery. Here's the base of the ride, a little control booth, an entrance and exit path, I believe. Yeah, it's I think it's a wonderful entry. And yeah, I just love all the little details that Manticore just crammed in here. Alright, then we have a tie for 8th place. In 8th place, we have the entry from Madazog. Madazog actually recreated Minecraft in 3x3 plot. So of course here's just the temperate area, which you would probably start in a game of Minecraft. There's a little tree and a chest. Up here is the sky, and up here you can actually see the end dimension, the tower in the middle with one of these end crystals, and there's also the ender dragon flying around. It's really cool how Madazak did that. And here at the lower level, well, first we go underground. We can see some underground water here, but also some of these ores. We can see some redstone here. This is probably diamonds or lapis. And then if we go even lower, we hit the bedrock layer here. And then below that is the nether dimension. Lots of lava and netherrack. Also some glowstone here. Yeah, I love that all this stuff here is recognizable. I think Madazak did a really nice job here. Right, here's the other entry that got 8th place. The entry from Bullpit Warrior. Now, I believe he threw this together quite quickly. And yeah, I just love the way this looks. Also, the atmosphere is pretty nice with the rain and all the thunder. Let me just quickly take a look around it. There's usually one angle in which you can scroll higher. That's this angle. Sadly, it's not the angle in which we can see the nicest parts. But yeah, from here it looks pretty nice. But yeah, all these trees were used here probably to represent rocks. Then there's this castle on top. It's a little bit glitchy from, especially when I move around. But yeah, I do think it looks really cool. Not really sure what everything here is supposed to represent. But I think it's just meant to look cool, and it certainly does that. Alright, next entry is from Mulder. Now, Mulder also put this entry together quite fast, but I think it looks amazing. It's pretty abstract. Again, not really sure what it all is, but it sure does look cool. I especially love the way that Mulder used these wild mouse rails without these interconnecting trusses between them. And I think that makes for some really cool structures. So all these statues in it that are interconnected, all this foliage. Yeah, this stuff just looks amazing. And that's really why I love every time that Mulder joins one of these contests. This stuff just looks amazing. Right, next entry is from Samfi. Samfi actually took a completely different look at this contest than most of the other entrants. And Samfi just turned their entry sideways. So if you tilt your head to the left 90 degrees, you will see this entry properly. So there's several houses here next to a road. Also a little river over here. And of course there's a car which travels up every now and then. You can also actually see it move down in a quite glitch way. But we can probably ignore that. There's also a little tree. I really like how Samfi did that. Also, yeah, I really like how the foliage next to the road was done. Yeah, I think this entry looks great. It's a really fun way of making a 3x3 plot. Great work from Samfi. Right, next entry is from The Brew. And yeah, The Brew made, I believe, 6 circles of hell, something like that. And I forgot what the story was like. I believe it was something from Dante's Inferno. Not really sure, but I do know it really looks cool. So here at the top we have a scene with it's called Plutus, but I see lots of guests here rolling boulders to each other. Here's a little river, the 5th circle river, with Dante's boat. Here we have a demon with a guest walking around in fire. Here we see some guests in a lava pit, surrounded by these jousting knights. Here's another little scene. And finally here at the bottom we see Satan himself stuck in ice. Now I'm sadly not really familiar with the source material, but I do think it all looks really cool. And I think all these scenes are just crafted in a beautiful way. Alright, next up is another amazing entry. This one's from FlixSpy, and he recreated the trench run from Star Wars. Now, again, this entry is sideways, so you'll have to tilt your head 90 degrees to the right. And then you can see this TIE fighter here, which is chasing an X-Wing. And yeah, the X-Wing is done with some beautiful details. Yeah, I think it's incredible how FlixSpy put this together with such little space, but also the background looks incredible. Yeah, I love how all the details that he managed to cram into this space. And for example, also to make this a really cool looking pair of lasers here in the background. Yeah, it's just amazing. All the piping here in the trench, all the grating, all the other stuff. Yeah, it's just fantastic work from FlixSpy. This was definitely one of my favorite entries of the round. Alright, here's the entry from Anda23, which you saw at the beginning of the video. He made it. It's a really cool looking grandfather clock. Now here at the bottom you can see some of these inner gears and of course the pointers. Now at this already it looks really great. I love the way he did this. You can immediately see that it's a clock, and it's a wonderful clock at that one. Now and here you can see some more of the inner mechanisms, some of these things that are hanging, and here at the bottom you can see this pendulum which swings back and forth. Of course, which is represented with this suspended swinging coaster car, which swings back and forth. Yeah, I think this is a brilliant entry from Anda23, but of course we're used to him building beautiful entries whenever he joins our round. So yeah, wonderful work from Anda23. Now there's just 2 entries remaining. I will first show both of them, and after that I will reveal which one is the winner of this round. Alright, next up is the entry from Max Arceus. Now the instructions tell us to follow solar system tour, follow cabin 1, and then it takes us on a tour through the solar system. So here you can see the sun with several of the inner planets. Here we can see Jupiter with several of its moons around it. Over here we can see Saturn, also with a moon. And if we continue on, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. Then we can see Neptune and Uranus, or maybe they were in the other order. And well, I was actually supposed to rotate the view, but we'll do that once we're back at the bottom. Oops, I sped it up a little bit too much. Alright, I've rotated the view, and here you can see a better look at the inner planets. And there's also several of the moons depicted of the different planets. And here in the end we see Pluto and its moon Charon. So yeah, just like the entry in the, I believe it was in the previous round, or in the subsea round. Yeah, Max Arceus there also made a beautiful entry which took you on the tour through different sections of the ocean. And yeah, this entry I think is also wonderful, and definitely something which you can learn, something fun. Yeah, I think Max Arceus did a great job in this depiction of the solar system. Alright, and the next entry, the last entry, is from In Error Predicting a Fault. And he actually decided to create a fault system from the game Fallout. Now, it is a little bit difficult to see everything. There's usually one angle from which you are able to see everything, but then we're not able to see all these scenes because this elevator system is a bit in the way. So I'll just use the other view where we can see all these scenes. It will be a little bit on the right of our screen. But yeah, there's all these different levels in the vault. I believe this looks like a mess room, some exercise rooms. There's probably some food generation, probably a little entertainment area. Also some machinery here at the bottom, probably a fusion generator. But yeah, there's all these wonderful scenes in this entry. Yeah, I think it's pretty annoying that we cannot actually see everything easily. But yeah, all the details in these little scenes, I think they look really nice. I wish I could easily get a closer look at them. Maybe if we move to a guest like this, yeah, that will actually allow us to look at the scene until we actually move out again. But yeah, this actually does allow us to get a nicer look. So this looks like a part where I guess can get some clothing, or maybe it's a living room. But yeah, like I already said, all these scenes they look great, and here at the top, yeah, we could actually see a nuked Ferris wheel, also with some bandits walking around. But yeah, I think it's a wonderful scene from In Error predicting a vault, even though it's a little bit difficult to see everything. Alright, then it's now time to reveal which one of these last two entries is the winner of this round. Is it this Vault 73 from In Error predicting a vault? Or is it the Solar System from Max Arceus? And the winner of the 3x3 plot mini contest is... Max Arceus. Yeah, there were lots of beautiful 3x3 plots in this round. It really brought out a lot of creativity in the people having such a limited size to work with. And I loved all the really different takes that people had on this contest. And of course, this entry from Max Arceus was rated the best by most of the voters. So that's why it won the contest. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed watching these entries, please give this video a like. It would really help out my channel, and please let me know in the comments which one of these plots was your favorite. Alright, that's going to be it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again in the next one. See you later.